and in different times. Okay, so the states are beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Okay, so what does this have to do with manifestation? Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, guys. Good morning. So what does this have to do with manifestation? Well, your subconscious needs to be accessed properly. Okay? And your subconscious is very susceptible to new ideas, new patterns, new ways of thinking, new data, if you want to say data, okay, when it's relaxed, when you are relaxed. So we're talking about theta and delta states, okay? Theta and alpha states, sorry. Delta is when you're like in deep sleep, okay? Your subconscious is still working, okay? But you're in deep sleep. Okay, now if you're listening to recordings of affirmations, positive affirmations, let's say you're listening to 530 hertz, 532 hertz music, if you're listening to that kind of thing, that can help as well. Guided meditations also work, okay? There are positive affirmations on YouTube that you can watch, let's say for 2 or 3 hours while you take a nap or while you sleep. Okay, and those things are good too, and they work. Your subconscious takes in all of that information, okay, because your subconscious is responsible for your heartbeat, okay, it's responsible for all kinds of things, okay, keeping you alive, heartbeat, okay, REM, rapid eye movement. So when you dream, it goes into rapid eye movement, so you get quality sleep, okay. But brainwave states and manifestation, like if you really want to get something into your subconscious, okay, theta state is probably the best. Okay, now, when are you in theta state? Right when you wake up, okay, and right when you go to bed. Okay, so if you're in theta state, it's deeper down than alpha. Okay, you can put your brain in alpha state very easily. I'll tell you how. Okay, it's not magic. Close your eyes and look up to your third eye. Okay, a lot of people haven't heard of this. Like, what, third eye? When I have a third eye? Okay, just look up. So you close your eyes, but you direct your eyes up like this. Okay, that's just a visual for you guys. Okay, so do that, and you will put your brain in alpha state. Now, the thing about that is you need to do it for a while and you need to practice it, because when you first do it, you're going to feel your muscles twitch. Okay, if you do it too hard, you're going to feel your muscles twitch. But when you do this, okay, and you do it for a couple of minutes, you will be in alpha state. So that's a hack for you. Okay, good morning, me. Good morning. Good morning, Kwan Lao. Good morning, Desert. Good morning, Bobby. So you want to put your brain in alpha state if you want to, let's say, heal, okay, for healing. Oh, good morning. Thank you. Who did that? Rock Painting Mama. Thank you. Thank you so much. So why is this beneficial? Well, if you're in alpha state, it takes in information, okay? If you're in theta state, it goes directly to your subconscious, okay? So if you're doing active learning, okay, alpha is just below the surface, okay? Just below the surface of, let's say, being alert, okay? Just below the surface. When you're in beta state, that's when you're alert. When you're studying, when you're doing things, when you're reading, when you're watching videos or things like that, okay, you're in active state. Okay, but when you're in alpha, okay, what happens is you go just below the surface. You're calm, you're relaxed, and it is meditative, but it's not deep. Okay, it's very light, but it's good for taking in information. It's good for learning. It's good for it's good for learning. Beta is good for learning. Okay, beta is what happens when you're fully alert. But then when you relax, alpha is good for learning when you're trying to affect your subconscious or imprint your subconscious. Okay? Now, theta state is ideal. Why? Because it's deeper. It goes directly to your subconscious. So what are you talking about? Well, anything you want to get into your subconscious. So before you go to bed, you're in theta state, like before you turn off the light. Okay? If there's anything you want to program into your subconscious, just speak it out loud. Your subconscious will think about it all night long. It'll be the last thing that your subconscious hears and the first it remembers. And then when you wake up in the morning, that's a good time to write your affirmation. Okay, so you write your affirmation. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay, so the affirmation comes first. Okay, meditation, 10 minutes in the morning. Okay, you will actually feel the presence of all creation if you get into manifestation, if you get into meditation regularly. Okay, and it'll take about maybe a week to 2 weeks. Okay, you will feel it. You don't have to read books on it. You don't have to look at spiritual things, and you don't have to do the bowls, and you don't have to do the bells and all of that. Okay, all you have to do is be still. See, people are so distracted, okay, by all kinds of things that they never really enter into the kingdom. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. And so many people go, yeah, we follow Jesus. Yeah, love Jesus. Praise Jesus. Praise the Lord, right? But they never experienced the kingdom. They're too distracted out here to the external, out here to the programs. So when you go to church, right, they entertain you. Then they give you a sermon. Then, all the things that happen. Okay, now this is all good stuff. But if you don't get that quiet time, the kingdom will never be revealed to you because you will never feel it. The kingdom is within. Now, you don't have to recite words that you don't understand. You don't have to you don't have to do that. It's not about that. It's about being silent. It's about being still, and you will feel the presence, okay, of whoever you think the superconscious is. Whether you think that's Jesus Christ, you think it's Allah, you think it's whoever you think it is. Source, universe, all of that. But that's when you will feel it. And then you'll understand. And only when you do this will you understand how we have labeled everything in society and how your eyes have distracted you into labels. The other day we were talking about I am that, I am that. When you take the I am, which is in you, and you apply it to something else or someone else, hey coach, what's up? And you apply it to something else, what you're doing is identifying with that. Okay? But you're identifying with something man-made versus God-made. This is God-made. The kingdom is within. Okay? Jay, you know what to do. So, God-made is in here. Man-made is out here. Anything out here is man-made. Okay? Because the only thing out here is nature and things from other people's in here. Okay? Which is their kingdom, their inventions, their ideas. Okay? Their creations. You are a co-creator with God. Or if you want to say another way, you're a co-creator with Source. You're a co-creator with the universe. Okay? I use God because that's what I believe. But you can insert your belief system in the superconscious. One of my clients is a psychologist, and he doesn't believe in God. And so when I mentioned superconscious, like he'd never heard of that. He's like, well, I've never heard of that. And then I presented him with the same thing, but I said, okay, then just observe the conscious and the subconscious. And then he said, oh yeah, of course. And then he got it, right? But he doesn't believe in God, so there's no superconscious for him. So if you don't believe in God, that's cool. That's fine, okay? There's no superconscious for you. Thoughts on the Industrial Revolution and its consequences leading to Gary Newman making cars. That's not what we're talking about, Jordan, but thank you for that. Okay, so the brainwave states and how it benefits you. So beta state is ideal for learning. It's ideal for studying. It's ideal for working, concentrating. Okay, when you're intently concentrating on things, when you're intently working through things. Okay, alpha is just below that. So when you talk about brainwave states, the lower you go, okay, the deeper it is. Okay, so hi Cooper, good morning. There's my gang. Yashira, good morning. So the lower you go, the deeper you get. Okay, so it goes beta, alpha, theta, delta. Delta is deep sleep. Okay, now your subconscious is still listening in deep sleep. Okay, and this is why you can wear headphones to bed and you can listen to things while you sleep. Okay, there was this psychic, and his name was Edgar Casey, and his story was kind of interesting because he used to sleep on books and absorb the content of the books. Okay, I don't know any subconscious that can do that, but according to him, it was a thing that he did. So I thought that was fascinating. I'm like, wow, he just slept on books, like underneath his head, and he just absorbed it. Okay, but there's an easier way, in my opinion, anyway, in my humble opinion, and that easier way is to put on a pair of headphones. You can listen to I am affirmations. Okay, I actually created self-formations. What are self-formations? Self-formations are affirmations that you do by yourself and that you record yourself and that you listen to yourself. Okay, self-formations. It's a thing in Hawaii. It's a registered trade name. So what do we do? How do we do it? Okay, so write down 100 positive I ams. Okay, I have a list somewhere. Where's my list? I have it closed out. I have it closed out for the live. Let me see if I can access it here. Oh, okay, I have it. All right, so I managed to pull this up. So write down 100 positive I ams about yourself, okay? I just wrote some adjectives down to give you some ideas, okay? I am confident, I am strong, I am brave, I am capable, I am creative, I am loving, I am kind, I am grateful, I am happy, I am peaceful, like that. Now, write 100 of them. The next thing you want to do is you want to read it out loud into a recorder. Okay? Read it out loud into a recorder, like your phone. Okay? So you can take your phone, okay, your phone's recorder, and you just speak it. You read the list, 100 positive I ams into your phone, into the recorder. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to listen to that. And if you can do it several times a day, listen to it several times a day, it's going to help you. Why is that? How does it work? Well, your subconscious pays attention to your voice and your image over all others. Okay? So it recognizes you first. So if you speak it into your recorder and then you start listening to it, you're going to feel better sooner. Now, if you just write affirmations, you'll feel a shift in 2 weeks. If you write them, speak them out loud, and listen to them at the same time. Listen to your voice speaking it. Okay. Now, I gotta add this. I have to add this in here. Okay. People don't like to listen to their voice. Why is that? Well, there's a scientific explanation, but the simple explanation is that your ears are over here. Your mouth is over here. You don't hear you. You feel you. Human beings speak and sing on sensation. Or let's say it another way. They speak or sing based upon how they felt the last time they spoke or sang. Okay, so you remember, that's how good your brain is. You remember how you felt the last time you spoke, and you will speak that way based upon the way you felt, based on sensation. Because you feel your voice. Then you get used to your voice at whatever level, at whatever pitch, whatever. Okay, and then you begin to memorize it. then you begin to repeat it. The subconscious repeats it. And then you repeat it the same way all the time. Okay? So now you're going to write 100 positive I ams. You're going to read them into your phone recorder. Then you're going to listen to them. And you will feel the shift before 2 weeks. Okay? It's a thing. Okay? If you look up self-formations in the state of Hawaii, you'll see that we own the rights to that. And, but this is for you, for free. Okay? So try it. It will work. In 2 weeks, if you're writing your affirmation, so your affirmation can be separate. Okay, this is not affirmations, this is not like your daily affirmation. Okay, this is a supplement. This will get you there faster. So your daily affirmation, let's grab the pen. There's my pen. Okay, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm confident. Thank you. Okay, that's your daily affirmation. You're going to write that out every morning in theta state. We're talking about brainwave states today. You're going to speak it out loud every evening while you're in theta state before you turn off the light to go to bed. Okay, and you'll feel a shift in 2 weeks if you just do that. If you add the I am statements, okay, the positive I am statements that I just mentioned, you write down 100 of them. Okay, that's going to do some good because you're writing. And when you write, it goes into your subconscious. But now I want you to voice them into your phone, okay, to the recorder. Record the 100 I ams. Now you're going to listen to them. And maybe in a week, you will feel the shift. Okay, now, like I said, it's going to be awkward in the beginning because it's your voice and you're going to be like, I don't want to listen to me. But it's just because your ears are back here and you're not used to listening to you. Okay? And that's why some people, when they speak on a microphone, they get really freaked out. Why is that? Because when they speak, they're getting the voice they're not used to push back at them in a huge way. Okay? So that's even more, like, they don't want to hear their voice. But it's because you're not used to it. Okay? So anyway, so do that and you will feel better faster. Now, if you're trying to get over anxiety, if you're trying to get over fear, any fear-based emotion. Good morning, Manuel. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. That's my buddy, Manuel. If you're trying to get over any negative emotion, okay, so it starts at worry. Let me run it down for you. It goes worry, irritation, disappointment, criticism, anger, hate, boredom, envy, despair, grief, guilt, shame, and fear. Fear is the bottom. All negative emotions are rooted in fear. All positive emotions are rooted in love. Love is the highest emotion, human emotion, and fear is the lowest. Okay, so fear is the devil. Okay. If something is making you fear, it's not good. Fear is our built-in alarm. It tells us that something's wrong. When you're feeling fear, something is wrong. If you're around someone who is making you fear, something is wrong. If you're afraid to go home because you don't want to get into a conflict or you don't want to get whatever, something's making you afraid, something is wrong. If you belong to any organization that's making you fear, and having you do something out of duress, something is wrong. Duress means you're forced to do it. Okay, you don't have a choice. You're forced into it. Okay, so your brainwave states again. Beta, okay, that's when you're busy learning. That's when you're busy working. That's when you're busy doing. Okay, alpha, just below the surface of that. Okay, so you're calm, you're relaxed. You can do a meditation in alpha. Okay, when you do a meditation in alpha, it's normally because you want to retrieve information. So guided meditations would be done in alpha. That would be ideal. And how you do it, like I said, is you turn your eyes upward towards your third eye. Okay, like that. Okay, close your eyes and then do it. And you're going to feel your nerves pull and flutter a little bit like that. You'll get used to it, and pretty soon you'll be able to do it easily. But in the beginning, yeah, takes some getting used to. But that will put your brain into alpha state. Now, theta state, again, theta state is when you're just ready to go to bed. Okay, so when you're just getting ready to go to bed and you're really relaxed, you're ready to turn that light off. Okay, that's when you're in theta state. That's when you speak your affirmation. You speak it out loud. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm confident. So you just pick up your tablet, okay? So it looks like this, right? This is a used one. This is one that I've already gone through. Okay, I keep it here just to show people. Okay, so these are affirmations. This is not journaling. Okay, keep it by your bed. You're gonna pick it up and read it. I am so happy and grateful now that I am well. Thank you. Okay, that was an affirmation I did 10/6/2020. Okay, and I do that every time I feel sniffles, I feel sick. Okay, you guys have never seen me sick, right? I missed one live, but that wasn't because I was sick. That was because I had to do something. Okay, I missed one live. I've been doing live since April. Okay, every single morning at 7 a.m. Hawaii time. So here's a little hack for you if you feel sick. Okay, do exactly what you just heard me read out loud. I am so happy and grateful now that I am well. Thank you. Then what do? Well, if you have conditioned your subconscious, in other words, what I'm saying is, if you have written out affirmations like every day for a while, okay, it takes 66 days to form a new habit. So you know, if you do your affirmations or just write affirmations, even if you're doing random affirmations for 66 days, your subconscious starts to become conditioned. It gets sharper. It's like a muscle. It's like going to the gym and working out. Okay? The more you do, the better you get at it. Okay? So like anything else, subconscious work starts small and then grows. Pretty soon you start writing affirmations, things start happening. Sometimes when I write an affirmation, okay, I receive confirmation in the way of synchronicities. So sometimes I'll write an affirmation for something, and Jay knows this because Jay and I discussed this, and she can tell you. And I write an affirmation for something, and pretty soon I get confirmation of it. It's not that it materializes that fast, but I'll get confirmation of it maybe the next day or so. Because it's the topic in your subconscious, okay? And the superconscious, or God, okay, works off of your subconscious, your beliefs, your core beliefs in your subconscious, okay? That's how it works. That's how God works, okay? God works according to how you believe. And this is why when you look around you, you see evidence of how you believe, okay? So let's talk about the subconscious tree real quick, okay? For those of you that are new, okay? So the roots of the tree are your subconscious beliefs, your core beliefs, okay? How does that work? Well, you have what you believe, okay? And we go till about 7 years old and we accumulate data because children, most children are in theta state when they're young, okay? They're accumulating data into their subconscious till age 7. Some 8, some 6, okay? People are different, everybody's different. Okay, now the trunk of the tree is your paradigm. The trunk of your tree is the way you see the world. Okay, so your worldview. Okay, that's where your attitude comes from, the way you see the world. Then what does that give birth to? Your actions, the fruits of the tree. So the fruits of the tree are your actions that bring results. Okay, so recapping, right? The roots, subconscious beliefs, okay, construct your paradigm. It builds your paradigm. Your paradigm is the way you see things. Okay, how do you see things? You know, when somebody says something to you, are you suspicious? Are you trusting? Well, whatever, okay? Like all of that. So it depends, okay? And then the actions based upon how you see the world. and then the actions bring results. So how do you get better results in your life? Well, you change the beliefs. How do you change the beliefs? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay, is it difficult? No, not at all. Very easy to acquire good habits. It takes 66 days, but if you follow affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, it's guaranteed. I do it all the time for everything. Okay? It works for everything because everything is energy. Everything is energy. So when you're in theta state, it's very easy to program your subconscious. Tell yourself what kind of day you're going to have tomorrow. When you're just falling asleep on the pillow, tell yourself what kind of day you're going to have. I'm going to have a great day tomorrow. I'm going to go out. I'm going to make sales tomorrow. I'm going to go out. I'm going to do whatever you do, right? I'm going to go to the warehouse. I'm going to get there early. I'm going to get on that forklift, and I'm going to, load up 3 trucks before everybody comes to work, whatever. Whatever it is, whatever your motivation is. When you do this, your subconscious thinks about this all night long. Okay, be careful what you speak at night. This is why we say prayers at night. We say prayers at night because all night long our prayers are going into our subconscious. So you want to speak good things at night. You want to speak good things into your subconscious because you don't need junk in there. So a better life or a successful life or a loving life or whatever, the subconscious makes you loving. The subconscious makes you angry. The subconscious makes you suspicious. Whatever your tendency is. Okay? Do you think everything's a conspiracy? Your subconscious will make you that way. It'll make you suspicious. Okay? If you're the kind of person that gets angry real easy, your subconscious makes you like that. Whatever you do in repetition. This is why we watch our words. So in the Bible it says, right, you can speak life or death to the tongue. Why does it say that? It's talking about your subconscious. If you speak life, guess what happens? Your subconscious reflects life. Okay? Instead of saying, I like that, say, I love that. Wow, I love that. I love that girl. I love that thing. I love that bike. I love that car. I love that whatever it is. Okay, now you get in the habit of speaking love. Okay? Speak empathy. Oh, I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. Somebody talking to you about their problems? Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. But you have to really feel them. And then the subconscious will go, oh, yeah, empathy. Okay, we're on board. Is that what we're doing? Subconscious is always awaiting your instructions. Okay, if it's money, speak wealth. Speak wealth. If it's investments, speak wealth. Speak things you want instead of things you don't want. That's the difference between wealthy people and poor people. Poor people talk about their problems. They'll commiserate about it all day long, right? Oh, this is wrong, that's wrong, the government's wrong, this is wrong, everything's wrong. And pretty soon, what does the subconscious do? It puts them in a wrong loop. And what happens? They start attracting wrong, right? Because like attracts like. So if you put wrong in your subconscious, it looks for evidence of wrong. And pretty soon it goes, hey, look at that, that's wrong. Oh, look at that, that's wrong. Your reticular activating system in your brain goes, okay, let's filter out things you're not focused on. You're focused on wrong. And then it'll go, oh, look at that situation over there, that's wrong. You'll be online, oh, that person's wrong. You'll be, okay, and then we discussed how it moves into real life through your reticular activating system. Okay, so here's how it works, okay, for you guys that are new. Okay, so we're on 7 networks, so I'm looking at cameras all over the place. I'm trying to divide my attention to different cameras. But here, okay, so you have one of these, right? Okay, so now you're online. Now you're scrolling. and you see something that you think is wrong. So you make a comment. The algorithm knows that you think it's wrong because of your comment or whatever, okay? Or because you're paying attention to it, because you're watching it, because you liked it, or maybe gave it a thumbs down. So it's going to repeat it to you, okay? So you see it again, you see another one, you see another one. Pretty soon, guess what? You're being inundated with things that are wrong. That's the algorithm. That's the computer, okay? That's the internet. How, Rosanna, good morning. Hey, Rosanna, good morning. Nice to see you. Hello. So, okay, now this keeps feeding you things that you think are wrong, okay? How does that jump into the real world? Well, you have a reticular activating system in your brainstem. Thank you, Rosanna. Thank you so much. You have a reticular activating system in your brainstem. What does that do? That filters out what you're not focused on. What are you focused on now that you did this? Now you're focused on wrong. Okay, this is just an example, but you're focused on wrong. Okay, so you put this down. You maybe go outside, maybe you go to the mall, maybe you're in a group situation someplace, right? What does your reticular activating system do? Well, you've been focusing on wrong. So what does it do? It shows you more wrong. Hey, look at this. This is wrong over here. Look at that. That's wrong. And it could be politics, could be anything, could be an attitude. It could be people's attitudes that you see online that you don't like. Okay? And then the algorithm feeds you that. Now your reticular activating system takes over. And now you're seeing it at the mall. Now you're seeing it at the beach, at the mountains, at the ski resort, wherever you are. Okay? Wherever you are. But your reticular activating system, right, filters out what you're not focused on, and it focuses on what you're focused on. That's where you get that red Corvette convertible thing, right? You start looking at one, you start getting interested in, then you see them all over the place, okay? That's not a phenomenon. That's how human beings work. And you can apply this to anything, okay? So now that's the negative scenario. Let's go back to a positive. Let's do a positive scenario, okay? So you're looking online, and maybe you want a car, okay? Maybe you want a car, and you go, oh, okay, I want that, I don't know, maybe you want the BMW convertible, okay? So you see it online. Then you start looking at it, right? And you Google it, then it shows you a whole bunch of them. Then you find the one that's appealing to you, maybe one you can afford, maybe whatever's right with it, okay? Something you enjoy. And then you start looking at videos. Maybe you go on YouTube. Okay, maybe you start watching videos of it. Maybe you start pricing them. You go online, you go, oh, this dealer, has it for this price, whatever, this price. You start making comparisons. Okay, but it's that BMW convertible. Okay. Now, your reticular activating system in your brainstem, when you're driving around, starts showing you more, right? And now you see it in real life, and you're going, whoa, yeah, this is a really hot car. It's popular. Everybody has one, right? And what else does the subconscious do? It looks for confirmation, right? It wants to make this happen for you. So it says, well, it's going to give you ideas concerning what's in the subconscious, okay? You're going to get ideas pertaining to the subject. Now the subject is BMW convertibles. Oh, maybe I need a side hustle. Maybe I should put some money away. Maybe I should get a loan. Whatever the variables are, okay? But they're positive, right? But it's trying to get you to the goal. I can't even tell you how many times this happened to me. Okay, but now that I know, now that I have the knowledge, I can observe it in real time, and I go, oh, I know what's happening to me. After it happens 2 or 3 times, you'll know. And then you go, oh yeah, that's my subconscious doing this, okay. And what does the superconscious do? So God is the superconscious part. Okay, what does God do? God gives you intuitive thought concerning what? Concerning what's in the subconscious. So if red BMW convertible is in the subconscious, right? Inspired thought could be, why don't you go down to BMW and test drive one? Why don't you talk to your bank manager to see if you could get a loan for that if you went down to BMW? Whatever. Your homework, basically. It'll give you ideas. Maybe you go down to BMW and you go, oh, the monthly payment's too much. And then your subconscious goes, well, maybe you can do a side hustle. Then God, right, the superconscious, then God goes, hey, maybe you can mow lawns in the neighborhood for extra money. Hey, maybe you can do this side hustle, that side hustle, whatever. But it's intuitive thought concerning what's in the subconscious. That's the way human beings work. Psychologically, that's what happens. These are 3 states of awareness in here, in the kingdom. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. Okay? The kingdom is within. If you haven't experienced the kingdom within, that means you haven't meditated. You haven't become still enough to feel the kingdom. The 3 states of awareness: conscious, subconscious, superconscious. If you don't believe in God, okay, then there is only the conscious and subconscious. But I'm here to tell you that the superconscious is real. God is real. And God lives in here. Because you're not your body, you're not your name, you're that energy that lives in here. Okay? So today we're talking about brainwave states and how to use them. So theta state is the manifestation state that you want to be in, the ideal state you want to be in. Because when you're in delta, you're fast asleep. Does the subconscious still work? Oh, yeah. So you can use headphones, you can listen to affirmations, whatever you want. Okay, you can listen to, there's all types of videos. There's guided meditations that last 3-4 hours, 5 hours. There's all kinds of stuff like that. Okay, and those things actually work. They work through your subconscious. Okay, I'm here to tell you how manifestation works. It works through your subconscious. It's not magic. It's not witchcraft. It's not voodoo. It's not any of that. Vision boards work through your subconscious. Somebody told me, a fellow Christian of mine told me, I don't know, a few months ago, oh, that vision board thing, that's demonic. And I'm like, oh, really? Apparently, he was a one-book learner. He doesn't know anything about the subconscious. But I shared it with him. I told him. Okay. But of course, he's received, other information that has just terrified him. So, but I'm like, oh, whatever. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You can write it, you can think it, you can speak it, you can look at it. And if you do it in repetition, it goes into your subconscious. What you're reading, what you're writing, that's up to you. I'm not here to make moral judgments. I'm not here to say you should do this, you should do that. It's up to you. It's like anything else. You can use it for good or not. Okay. So how do you get this? How do you really fine-tune yourself into this manifestation thing? Okay, well, first you do the affirmation, right? You write your affirmation. So a lot of people now are just saying you speak your affirmation. That's not good enough. When you write it, it goes into your subconscious faster. Okay, don't be lazy. Write it out. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm confident. Thank you. Why confident? Because confidence is a relaxed inner feeling. I'm talking about inner confidence. I'm not talking about the big dudes in the gym. Okay? This is an inner confidence. We're not talking about muscles. You know those big guys in the gym? And they have this 4'11" little Asian girl that controls them like a game with the buttons, pressing buttons. Makes them snap. Okay? If there's steroids involved, roid rage, even worse. Okay? But what I'm telling you is it's an inner peace. It's an inner calm. It's an inner skill set. It's an inner mindset. But when you align the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious in synergy together, you get everything you want. Sometimes you have to wait. Yeah. The universe is not going to boom like this for you. God won't do that. The universe won't do it. God won't do it. Source won't do it. Jesus Christ won't do it. Allah won't do it. Okay? But when you form the center point, okay, your center point, what you want, what your goal is, let's say it that way, what your goal is, when you have a goal and you go, no, this is my goal. I'm not budging. This is my goal. This is what I'm going to do. And don't change your mind. Okay? Now you've formed an energetic center point, and your timeline will correspond to you. Okay? Now this process, right? This is just a visual, okay? But this process may take a little while, but you'll get there. Okay? You will get there. How you will get there is God's job, or the superconscious. It's not even the job of the subconscious, although the subconscious will try to make it happen. But everything is energy. Everything is energy. You're the energy that lives in here. You want to call this a spirit? It's a spirit. You're a spiritual being having a physical experience. There's a separation between the body and the spirit. They're not going to tell you this in church. It tells you in the Bible, it tells you in scriptures. They're not going to tell you this in church. And they're not going to tell you the way it works. The body, okay, this thing is what is securing you into the physical world. The flesh. And what do they say? Well, there's a king of the physical world, right? Okay? But the spirit belongs to God. Okay? In here. You're not your body. You're not your name. You're that energy that lives in here. The Holy Spirit is in here. The Holy Spirit is not out there. There is no out there. There is only nature and things from someone else's in here. Okay? Someone else's creativity, the buildings, the cars, the street signs, the system. But your power, your spirit, your energy supersedes the system. Why? Because it's not part of the system. Your body is part of the system. Your body is anchored in the system. But you attract what you want in here through the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. How do you do that? First, you think the thought. When you do it in repetition, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. Do it in repetition, it becomes a belief. What are you thinking? You thinking good stuff or bad stuff? When it becomes a belief, what does the subconscious do? It looks for confirmation. It'll look for everything possible to confirm that belief. It doesn't matter what you believe. Okay, so if you believe in God or you don't believe in God, either way, you're a believer. It doesn't matter what you believe. Then what does the superconscious do? It gives you intuitive thought. Because Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father, not the left. What's at the right hand? The right hemisphere of the brain. They won't tell you that in church either. Okay, the journey of Moses from the left brain to the right brain. Okay, when Jesus told the apostles, cast your net to the right side, there's a reason for that. Because you need to migrate to the right side. Why? Because when you're on the right side, you're in alignment with God or the superconscious. You're in alignment with God on the right side. And when the apostles cast their net to the right, what happened? So many fish, they couldn't pull it in the boat. Abundance. You want abundance? Start working with the right side. You want lack? You want logic? Okay, because, right, certain things, your left brain will rationalize you out of it with logic. Oh, I want to start my own business. Okay, that's a right brain thought. Creativity. Oh, I want to start my own business. Yeah, I want to build widgets. And then the left brain starts talking to you, right? Because you have the angel over here on the right, and you have the devil over here on the left. And your logic, or the ego, okay, ego left side. Your logic will tell you, hey, you remember Uncle so-and-so tried a business and that didn't work. Nobody in the family had a business before. That's not going to work. And pretty soon, what will you do? You will think about it over and over and over. What is a belief? A thought you keep thinking. But now, the ego is presenting the opposite, the opposing energy. The opposing, and opposed to what? Opposed to the right side. Now it starts presenting you with logic. Well, yeah, the economy is not good, whatever. Okay? That's a crazy idea. All of that. And what does it do? Slowly, it rationalizes you out of it. How does it rationalize you out of it? How does it do that? It goes into your subconscious as a belief. First, you have the belief, okay, I'm going to start a company, or I'm going to start a business, I'm going to start whatever, right? And then on the left side, with enough thought, it goes, that's a crazy idea. Okay, I'm here to say, trust your crazy ideas. That's all I do. That's all I do is trust my crazy ideas, and I never know how. And things just come. The how is God's job. So you cannot say you believe in God and not trust the right side. That's being selective. It's not subjective. It's not like, okay, some things come from God over here, and then some things, over here, just by chance, by luck. No. Either everything comes from God, and that's your paradigm, and that's what you stick to, okay? It's called faith and belief. And belief is a thought you keep thinking, so first you have to think the thought, then you have to stick to it, then you have faith that whatever it is that you need in life, whatever you want in life, whatever you desire in life will show up from the right side. Because when you say, well, I know so many Christians like this. I know some different denominations, not just one, okay? They go, oh, yeah, I believe in God. I believe in God. And then, oh, what about the stock market? Well, and then logic pops up. Well, yeah, but the market, yeah, we just got lucky in the market. It wasn't God? Oh, well, that's what the market does. Okay, that's logic, rationalizing the situation. When the stock market goes up, I consider it a blessing. Okay. When my investments make money, I consider it a blessing. I look at everything as a blessing. The things that don't happen for a reason, because it's not part of the plan of the right. There were tons of doors that just shut in my face. And the ego part of me, the left brain, was like, no, this is logically where I'm supposed to go. I'm supposed to, I'm supposed to try the record company so they'll sign me, and then they'll make me famous, and then. Did it happen that way? No. I ended up with a wedding and party business. Did the same exact thing. Okay, performed for hundreds of thousands of people in 15 years. Accomplished the same thing. Did not go to drug rehab. Did not need all of the things that the things that I saw the other guys get. but I didn't get what they got. I wasn't favored. I wasn't, you know, put on all the top shows and all this stuff, all that stuff, right? Because they need to make money off of those people. And there we were with our wedding and party business, and the only guy we had to pay was the sound guy. So did I get my dream? Yeah, I just didn't get it the way I thought. I thought I was going to get it the other way. And then halfway through the dream, when I saw what was happening to the other people, I was like, wow, that's terrible. That's terrible. Money came in this way, went through the entertainer, went out this way, and it's just a circuit like that. And pretty soon, this one, the entertainer, gets burnt out. And when that happens, maybe there's artificial means or whatever that keeps them going, whatever. And then more money goes out because of that. And pretty soon they're in rehab. So did I look at the wedding and party business as a blessing? Yes. If you ever want to see it, it's on Facebook. It's called the Kekuewa Jr. Roadshow. Everything is documented. Go take a look at it. Did I still want to be produced by the record company? Yeah. Of course. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. That's individual perception and judgment. What I'm saying is my path was laid out for me, and I went down that path, and there were both good and bad things that didn't happen. The bad thing that didn't happen was I didn't get promoted by the record company. The good thing, well, I didn't go to rehab. Well, I mean, there's always good and bad for everything. You just have to stick to the positive paradigm. You have to have the right mindset to pull yourself out of it, look down in it, and go, oh, okay. And sometimes you won't be happy about it. I wasn't happy about it. I would have rather been with those guys. I would have rather been with all the, in crowd. I wasn't with the in crowd. And I'm here to tell you, to inspire you, to tell you that you have your own life path. You don't need to be with the in crowd. But when everything is happening with, the other side, you're going to look on the other side. You're going to go, wow, yeah, I want to be with them. I want to be with what's happening. I want to do that. And sometimes God goes, no, you come over here. Here, this is your lane. You stay in your lane. And I had to accept, after a while, I had to accept it. Why? Because this lane was really good. This lane turned out really well. This lane was really profitable. This lane was really healthy. And it allowed me to do other things. So I stayed in this lane, right? Do you look over at the other lane and go, oh, I wish I would? Yeah, you do. Of course you do. I did, right? I was in my lane. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to stay in my lane, God. Father God, thank you, Father God. I'm going to stay in my lane. And I stayed in my lane. But I looked in the other lane and go, wow, I wish I was with those guys. I wish I was going to Japan. I wish I was doing concerts all over Japan. I wish I was going all over the United States doing entertainment trips and gigs and, that kind of thing, right? But God said, no, here, I gave you this. You stay here. You do this. So what I'm saying is, yeah, you're always going to look at the other side. The grass is always greener. The grass is always greener because we always want what we don't have. And you know what? If I would have been lucky, so to speak, right? Lucky, relative. But if I would have gotten that, and then I started doing that, pretty soon I would have missed the wedding and party business. Why? Because there's certain things over here that weren't in my core values. Right? There were certain things that I didn't really want to do. And so what I'm telling you is God knows your heart. So on this side, right, the superconscious giving me intuitive thought, it's working on what's in my subconscious. What's in your subconscious? The roots of the tree, remember? Yeah, your core values. So all this stuff over here did not mix with my core values. All of those things that I saw that were happening, okay, it didn't match my core values. So I'm like, okay, well, was it upsetting to me? Yeah. Did I want to be with those? Yeah. Would I have signed the contract? Yeah. But God said, nope, you stay over here. This is yours. You have this. So you have to be grateful. You have to give thanks. You have to express gratitude for whatever you get, because it's about the journey. Now, how are you going to make the journey, right? I mean, there's the up and down journey of rehab, and then come out and then try again, and then rehab, and then, whatever. And sometimes it gets you in the end, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes you turn your life around. Sometimes you find God, and you go, oh, okay, this is what God wants me to do. And then, right, you wake up. And when you wake up, you go, okay, this side is better. But better is relative, right? Because I wanted that side. But when you express gratitude for the side you're on and stay in your lane will serve you. Why? Because God is working off of your core values. So it will match. It will be conducive to your core values because you have a subconscious. Your subconscious is your book of life. Everything you do, it's a culmination of all of your senses. So when God says, okay, you stay over here in your lane, even though you don't like it at the time, even though you look on the other lane and you go, whoa, like, yeah, I want to be with those guys, right? You're safeguarded here. So sometimes what I'm telling you is sometimes the doors close for a reason. Sometimes the doors slam shut for a reason. It's because what's in your subconscious. It's about your core values. And God goes, oh, okay, those are your core values? All right, shut that door. Boom. You don't go in there. Good morning. Do you start at 11 now and not noon, maybe time? Yeah, I think it's the time change. Who's that? Darlene. Hi, Darlene. Yeah, it's the daylight savings time. We don't have that in Hawaii, so I'm still here at 7 a.m. in Hawaii. You can Google the time. Right now, it's 8 a.m. And Jay is just about, yeah. Thank you, Manuel. Have a great day. Rosanna, take care. Jay, yep, Jay's over there. See you tomorrow. She's kicking me out. Okay, so Jay's our producer. She's on another platform. Okay, so anyway, we're going to say, yeah, see you guys tomorrow. But remember this. Okay, remember this. God will never give you anything you cannot handle. And most of the time, if you are true to yourself, and what I mean is your core values, and when your conscious, subconscious, and superconscious are synergistically working together, God will give you your lane. Okay? Because the how is God's job. At first, you may not like it. You go, oh, I want to be with those guys. I want to do that. I want to be with that. I want to do the hip hop thing. I want to do whatever, right? God says, no, you stay in your lane over here. And pretty soon, when you go down the road enough, you go, yeah, okay, I know this fits me better, but I still want to be over there. But yeah, okay, I'll stay in my lane. Okay? All right. So just know that God has a plan for you based upon what's in your subconscious. If you want something different, change your beliefs in the subconscious. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization.